This just arrived from Big Bad Toy Store. This is the Premium Finish Studio Series 02 Bumblebee Movie Optimus Prime. I don't know how this figure is in comparison to, say, the newer releases like Sideswipe, Brawn, and the others, but I've heard good things about this figure, and apparently it is way better than the standard release. So I guess we should get to unboxing. The box is a little damaged, but it doesn't seem to be in horrible shape. So let's just hope nothing bad has happened behind this box. Hopefully that is. Let me try and find the tape here. This tape is very hard. Am I cutting? Hold on one second.
1 hour later.
Okay, so let's just... Did I cut it? There you go. Yep. Okay. Let's see what this looks like now. Oh wait, one second. We are still missing one little bit of tape here. I think that's good now. Are we good? Yep. There you go. So let's get this guy out. Here is Studio Series 02 Premium Finish Bumblebee Movie Optimus Prime. Now let's just get him out of his packaging here. 1 second. Now we have Bumblebee Movie Studio Series 02 Optimus Prime. And packaging wise, this looks really nice. The older issues of this packaging looked more like Masterpiece style, but honestly this one also looks really nice. It says Transformers Premium Finish Studio Series 02. On the side we've got more Transformers Premium Finish Studio Series 02, authentic Takara Tomy product as sold in Japan. Same thing on the top. There is the top. Here is the bottom, and on the back, same thing. SS-02 Transformers Premium Finish, authentic Takara Tomy product as sold in Japan. Includes figure, accessory, and instructions. And that's pretty much all for the packaging. So let's get into unboxing. So now that I've got my X-Acto blade here, let's just carefully cut into the packaging. That was easy. Is there any tape on the sides? Nope. As you can see, some letters that I cannot comprehend, but sure. Now, is this a different box underneath? Hold on. Oh, okay. I get it now. So this is the real packaging. Here's the real packaging for this. Let me put this away. So the other packaging was kind of like a sleeve. Okay. So here we have, on the side of the box, Starscream fighting Optimus. I do believe this is the regular issue of him. And you've got Transformers Premium Finish Studio Series Optimus Prime on the back. Some product shots in more words that I cannot comprehend. You got your warnings. Honestly, I have no idea what any of this means except this and this, because these are just codes. Same image on this side, and you got a front which has Optimus in his robot mode. It also says Premium Finish on the top. Also here, Premium Finish. Takara Tomy. More words I cannot understand. Transformers. I do not know what it says here. It might say Convoy, I don't know. But on the bottom, you got the sad Pac-Man, as every single Takara Tomy product that I've seen so far, and most third-party figures. And this side is, I think this is a recreation of one scene that he's fighting against Starscream, or one of the Seekers. I can't really remember, but let's get to unboxing this part too. So let's see if this one's as easy to open as the other one. Well, it seems so. Let's just carefully open this, make sure not to damage any of the packaging here. More letters that I cannot comprehend. It says www.takaratomifans.com. That's the only thing that I can understand from that. Here it says takarif.takaratomi.co.jptf channel. Now let's see Optimus in his robot mode in his packaging. And first impression wise, yeah, this is, well, it does look premium. Let me actually move this out of the way so we can see this a little bit better. Yeah, it looks nice. I thought it was going to be a blister, but hey, better for the environment, I guess. You know, let me fix these panels here, because these are kind of out of place. And this one too. I'm guessing that's just from moving in the shipping. But as you can see in his eyes there, he's like, this face sculpt is super nice. I still don't understand what these lines are on his head. If the camera will focus on it, for God's sake. But I don't understand those lines, but everything else, like the silver on the legs, all the scuffing, everything looks super nice. Now, let's get him out of this weird cardboard thing. So, before we take a look at Optimus outside, okay then, onto Optimus's ion blaster here. As you can see, done it really nicely in gunmetal gray. The iconic rear vent of the ion blaster, reminiscent of the G1 cartoon. Honestly, in my opinion, this is a really nice redesign of the G1 ion cannon. But the front doesn't seem like it can take a blast effect, but it also has like these nice ridges inside, like just detailing wise, which is kind of crazy. You can see the barrel. This port, I do believe, is for vehicle mode. Same thing on the other side of this thing. As you can see, the back of the gun, the bottom, which on most things is hollow. This guy, weirdly enough, is not. There's the scope, which doesn't really have much use, but hey, it's Transformers. Now on to Optimus. So here we have Studio Series 02 Premium Finish Optimus Prime. And just looking at him, yeah, I can see like this thing is definitely, it has a premium finish, I'll tell you that much. The legs look super nice. The face sculpt, if I can get the camera to focus, there we go. Yeah, the head sculpt is super nice. You can see the blue in the eyes, the silver mouth plate. The one thing that kind of confuses me, as I mentioned earlier, this silver line here is weird, but other than that, it's fine. You could also see, if I can focus, you can also see the scuff marks here on his shoulders, scuff marks on the forearms, yellow arrows reminiscent of the G1 toy, blue hands, because the original release had black hands for some reason, and also the Autobot logos. That's another thing that the original release did not have. The nice blue chest windows. Then you have on the back this nice gunmetal gray painted piece. All the nice fuel tanks, the blue. The kibble isn't as bad as I seen in videos, actually. It's super nice. This figure is super nice. The silver on the legs, the blue on the crotch piece, which is actually reminiscent of the G1 animation model, so that's interesting. The paint, like just the gunk caked onto the legs, and if I bend the knee, you could see here all these super nice like tubing and focus. Come on, 1 second. Just come on. There we go. You can see all the super nice focus and all the gunk, like just caked onto the legs, honestly. You can see that. Also, if you look at the shins, super nice blue paint down at the foot. You can see this is the trailer hitch. That's for alt mode. But yeah, without you know, messing around with him just articulation-wise, yeah, he looks super nice. Honestly, one of the best-looking Optimus Primes from Takara and Hasbro. Even though this is the Takara version, the regular one is also very nice. Now, onto articulation. The head is on a ball joint, but it is super tight and can also fall off. You can look up that far, down that far, can rotate a full 360. Arms go up that far with a moving piece here, actually. Put that back into place. Arms can do a full 360, but this kibble gets in the way and I don't want to scuff that up at all. But arms can go the full 360 as mentioned. Has a slight butterfly joint. You have an elbow joint here, a little bit over 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. And I don't think there is anything at the wrist. Oh, there is wrist rotation. So he does have wrist rotation. Did his head just pop off? Yep, as I mentioned, this is an issue with this copy at least, because I haven't seen it on anybody else's copies, but the head on this figure, the ball joint at least, is a little bit loose, but it's also super tight. I don't know if the ball joint is just slightly too small or too big for the figure, but other than that, this figure is perfectly fine. Now, he does have a rotating waist joint, which can do a full 360, but I don't see why you would need him to do that. And as you can see, it does get in the way of the kibble back here. So that's another thing you gotta be careful of. Also forgot to mention this super nice detailing in the abs here. But legs can go forward that far, back only about that far. If you bend the elbow, the legs can do the full splits with this piece actually moving out of the way. A nice detail. He does have thigh rotation. He does have over 90 degrees at bend at the knee. And also, not to mention, he does have up, down ankle, and ankle tiltage. So, also, forgot to mention, the instructions, the packaging comes with instructions, which the only thing I can understand from that is Optimus Prime, Premium Finish, SS-02, Premium Finish, Studio Series. That's it. Everything else, I cannot understand. And as always, where is it? There's the sad Pac-Man, as always. Now, opening these is a little bit complicated. Hold on, one second. So, here's the instructions. Let me take them out really fast. Oh, they feel super nice, actually. They feel like they're printed on paper. Not like the other ones, which are... Oh, boy. I can already sense that this is going to be a handful. The instructions are, I would say, they're easy to follow, but I don't understand Japanese, so... Yeah. There's the instructions. It's a lot of steps, actually. Though there is a good thing. You could just, if you want to transform from robot, alt to robot, you could just, you know, how do I say this? You could simply revert your steps when you were transforming him, and that's all really you need to do. But those are all the accessories. And now, let's move on to transforming Studio Series 02 Optimus Prime. So, time to transform Optimus into alt mode. First thing you need to do is, of course, if he's holding the weapon, remove it from his hand. Shouldn't be too hard, just remove it. First thing you want to do is open up his chest on this double hinge. Don't open, because there's two ways of opening this. You can open it like this, and then there's a double hinge that allows you to do that. That's the way you want to open it. Then you're going to want to remove his head very carefully and move it down, because that can come off. That is not on a pen, so it can pop off. Then you push the chest in, then you grab the forearm, and then you're going to want to twist it up to like this angle here. There you go. Leave the arm up. Same thing on the other arm, like that. Now, This is where it gets a little bit complicated. First thing you're going to want to do is turn him around. Then you're going to want to untab this piece from his backpack. Alright? You got that done. Then you're going to want to untab this entire back piece, revealing the truck grill, which looks super nice. Then you're going to want to take the wheels, which will take the wheels out to this angle up here. You see how the waist starts to lift. That's because now the waist has the ability of doing this, and the way you let it do this is by moving the wheels out of the way just enough. Well, you could just fold them out almost completely, and you see this entire assembly will do that. Now, I recommend you just doing this with them, just laying them down, which means, there we go. Now, starting off with this, first thing you want to do is line up the wheels so that he can actually just kind of lay there, right? And then what you're going to want to do first is grabbing these panels, right? These little white panels, as you can see, and flipping them up. Now, this is the weird part. Make sure nothing is obstructing this. So flip these panels back here down if they're flipped up. Then you're going to want to rotate this entire assembly all the way around, like so. Now you're going to want to just grab the head, and the head is going to tab right there into that tab. Just make sure it's all lined up, nice and lined up. Push this piece forwards, and this piece will just snap into there. Alright, so now that we've got that all done, now it's time for somewhat of a nightmare. Oh boy. So, this transformation isn't that bad, but it's somewhat complicated. So now, you're going to take the forearm panel, lift it up, and just open it right here on this seam. You're just going to stick your nail there and flip it open. Same thing on the other side. Flip up, take your nail, flip it open like that. Now, oh boy, yeah, this is a little flimsy here. This part of the figure is a little flimsy. Now, bend the elbows, both elbows, then flip the arms down, and tab them into here like that. By the way, that squeaky noise is just the wheels. But you see the truck is slowly starting to take shape. Barely, mind you. It's barely done. Then you're gonna wanna these pieces will go on last. Just gonna let you know, just so you know. These arms will now, the arms, better said, will fold in. Right? Fold the arms in. Make sure this is all lined up so that, you know, you don't break anything or chip any paint. You don't want to chip this super nice paint on this super nice white. So now you're just gonna adjust the elbows to make it so that they sit alone. Then you're just gonna fit the windows into their, they fit there. They're not super hard to flip, as you can see. They just go right in there. This goes on last. The front of the truck is the last piece. You'll see why in a bit. Then you see this hole right here, and this tab will go into that peg and that hole right there. You'll see. Wait, no. This tab, I do believe, goes into this peg right here. You see it right there. Now, this is the kind of precarious part, because if you don't line anything, also I forgot to mention this long tab right here going to there. Now if you're not careful, 1, nothing will line up. 2, you'll probably end up breaking something. And 3, you just don't want to chip the nice paint. Do not scratch it. Tab that all into there, Now you grab this panel, push it in like so. Now make sure everything is lined up again. This is going to rock back and forth, as you can see, since it's not secured by this. Next up, same side, same thing on the other side. Move that out of the way. Form the arm into place. Same thing. This tab goes into there. This peg goes into there. Into there, as you can see, right there. And then this peg, this slot will line up with this tab. So first one is the back one. Something is preventing you from lining it up. What is it? What is it? Look at the back here. Oh, I see it now. The head is preventing that from pushing in, and also it's not tabbed in. So what I'm going to want to do is push that in, then tab that in to there, like so. That side is a tougher connection than the other side. Then you just grab the 9th panel, like so. Now here come the wheels. This wheel will go up to here, and then this panel, if everything is lined up, this panel will just snap into place like that. Show you again. If everything is lined up, the panel will snap into place. Make sure you make space there. It'll snap into place. Now, the front of the truck. This has two hinges, one here, one here. See, there's one here, and there's one back here, actually. So this hinge, you're gonna push it back here, and then push down on this, and then push in. That's the front of the truck. All done. Let me line up the smokestacks. For the truck is all done. The back of the truck isn't done, so let's go on to that. First thing you're going to want to do is flip this little gray panel. This little gray panel on the other side too. Now, the leg, this side already untabbed for some reason, but the other leg is getting in the way, so let me just bend the knee here. This piece, we're just going to go, whoop. Oh wait, no. Wrong thing. Wrong step at the wrong time. So, this piece, this entire assembly is going to flip up on this hinge, and then go up on that hinge, then tab that together, flip it down, tab it into there, and then there's this little hole, there's this slot here that will let that peg tab into there. So line up the bed, line up the frame with the cab, and then it should just snap. By the way, I don't think these tab into anything. As you can see, they do not. The smokestacks do not tab into anything. So don't worry about tabbing in the smokestacks. You see, even though it looks like they're tabbed in, still move freely. Don't worry about that. Next up, open up the gas can, or the fuel tank, actually. Then you want to take this gray piece, and that slot right there is going to line up with this peg. You're just going to push it in, like so, right? Then, this is the kind of complicated part. You're going to put your thumb here, allowing the foot to rotate up to there until you cannot see that ball anymore. Then you're going to actually use the secondary joint that's going to let you flip the foot up to here. And then you're just going to rotate the foot using the ankle pivot. Then you will flip down the foot, eventually lining it up with that tab right there. Actually, let me show you here what peg it is. So this peg right here is going to line up with that tab right there. Just very carefully line it up. There we go. It's pegged in. Now we got that side all done. Now the other side is not exactly... Oh, come on. Okay, the front likes to untab sometimes. So the other side is almost the same, but there's one step that's different. So, first thing, straighten up the leg, pull it out so you can see better, so you can get more space for your hands. You can see, normally it's tabbed in like this. See? So what you're going to do is open it up to untab it. Peg it in. Grab the entire shin. Flip it up by this hinge and then this hinge. Tab that little itty bitty peg into that hole, like so. Then, same thing here as the other side. That slot lets that peg go into there, like so. And then, you can now hook these two pieces together by, I don't know if you can see this, but let me show you. This is a hook peg right here, right? Then you have this hole that will allow the other hook on that side to line up. So actually, what I recommend you doing is hooking these together while they're untabbed from the vehicle, so that way you could just go like that and then simultaneously hook both of these back into their pegs, so that way you have all of the lined up bed rack. Now what you're going to do is same thing, that little gray panel, flip it down, nice mechanical detail there. Grab this, flip it open, same thing, peg it. This peg will go into that tab. Same thing. Most of it is this. Come on. Stay tabbed in, Optimus. Come on. It only fights me when on the camera, though. That's the biggest problem. Ugh. Okay. So we're almost done here. Final stretch. Final stretch. So flip the foot down until you cannot see that ball, like that. Use the foot. That goes down, the piece of the foot that goes down. Then flip this like that. Pull the horseshoe out of it. Then you're going to want to flip it down. Same part here. Tab the blue. Look, tab this. Whoops. This tab into this peg right there. You can barely see it, but it's there. And then it's tabbed in. Now you're gonna grab the horseshoe and tab it into that slot right there. It's kind of hard because the horseshoe is made of this super thin plastic. Last but not least, take the two halves and hold on one second. You have to line both of these up at the same time to get everything to work. There we go. Come on. There we go. Get it all nice squeezed in. Get everything all tabbed in. And there we have premium finish Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime in his alt mode. We have Studio Series 02 Premium Finish Bumblebee Movie Optimus Prime next to custom painted Earthrise Optimus Prime and next to Siege Optimus Prime. And honestly, at least for me, yeah, they all look amazing. The three of them, honestly. My favorite of the three truck modes would have to be the Studio Series one, just because it just looks like this is good, but this looks more cartoonish. This looks more cartoon accurate than this. This is a stylized version, and there's also a ton of panel lining on this version. This version is all smooth, and there's even rivets on it where they're supposed to be. This is kind of out of the question because this is a Cybertronian truck. Kind of looks like 2002 RID. Not gonna lie, but from behind, you can see the back of this one is just the feet together. Same thing for this guy, actually, as you can see. Yeah, it's the same thing. And then you have this guy, which is just, they put so much more effort into Studio Series 02 Optimus, as you can see. Like, he actually has a fully functional tow hook, frame, bed rack, and the entire frame back here is fully built. But these guys are just the feet with the toes flipped down. This has a bunch of thickness to it, while this is nice and flat. Now, is Studio Series 02 Optimus Prime compatible with the trailer? Such as Siege Optimus is compatible with it, even though it doesn't tab in because the back of it is too long for some reason, at least for me. And then, well, at least on my copy. Then you have Earthrise Optimus, which is the trailer, the truck that the trailer was meant for, so it will fit. Obviously, that's just how it's gonna work. It is going to fit since it's made for it. This is custom made, by the way. This piece here, it's not the next one. Okay, now we have the star of the show here. Will it work? And yes, it does. It's not very proportionate, mind you, and the wheels don't match up because one of them is supposed to be purely G1, the other one's stylized movie-ish G1. The trailer can still move side to side, but it does collide here, which might damage the trailer's edges. But it does. The trailer doesn't really roll, but yeah. That's all for size comparisons. Here we have custom painted Earthrise Optimus Prime. Let me get him stood up here next to Studio Series Optimus, and also Siege Optimus Prime. A second, let me just adjust his legs so he'll stand, or else he'll topple over. And here we have all three Optimuses, Optimi, I don't freaking know. But seeing them all together kind of shows like what Warfare Cybertron's definition of Cybertronian is, what Travis Knight's definition of Cybertronian meets G1, and then we have the purest form of G1 Optimus that is currently modernly available, which is Earthrise Optimus Prime. Seeing all three of these guys together is weird, because it just feels like it's a freaking multiverse thing going on here. But they all look awesome. But honestly, my favorite of the three would be Studio Series Optimus. Second only, well, the only one that would be like comparable is Earthrise Optimus. But then again, this is a custom painted one. If I were to compare the stock one to this one, the other one would be better. This guy, you know, Studio Series Optimus. Here is Studio Series Optimus Prime with Studio Series Bumblebee Movie Soundwave. And these guys look amazing together. I wonder if they'll ever make a Bumblebee Movie Megatron, even though he's not in the movie, because if it is connected with the War for Cybertron games, Megatron got crushed by Metroplex, but if it isn't canon, then hey, we might get a Studio Series Bumblebee Megatron in the future, but for now, yeah, these guys look amazing. And I wonder if they'll make a premium finish of this guy. If they do, yeah, I'll review that one too. Honestly, if they make one, that's a definite must. So, final thoughts on this figure? Yeah, it's worth it, 100%. This figure is worth the asking price at Big Bad Toy Store. I just love the way that this alt mode looks, and the robot mode is also phenomenal, but there are some issues here and there, like, you know, the figure being a little bit of a mess to transform. It's pretty good though. Also, the smokestacks not tabbing in is a little weird, but hey, I'm not gonna judge. And you know, if I were to rate this figure from 1 out of 10, it'd be like a 9.5 or like a 10 out of 10. It's an amazing figure, and also here he is with all the Optimuses that I have present here. Custom painted Earthrise Optimus, Siege, and Core Optimus. Also, one more thing I'd like to mention. Weapon storage, he actually does have some, if you put his Ion Blaster. on the horseshoe. Yeah, you can store the weapon there. And you see here with Core Optimus, it just kind of looks like baby Optimus Prime, but yeah, this figure is 100% worth it. I give it a 9.5 or even a 10 out of 10. Honestly, this is an amazing. So, like I said, final thoughts on Optimus Prime. It's a really good figure. It has a couple of weird things about it, like the whole smokestacks not pegging into anything and the waist being a little loose. But other than that, this has to be one of the best Studio Series figures I've seen in a while, like second only to like Soundwave. Also, here are some pictures. I had a lot of fun taking these pictures. After a while playing with the figure, I started to like ignore some of the issues, like the whole loose waist thing when you're transforming him. And honestly, this is one of my favorite figures. And also, wanted to say thanks for watching, and this is Luke signing